Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Suzaty binti Suliman. My metric number is 2022152853. Today I would like to present Malaysia inflation. I am going to start introduction of our topic. In general, inflation refers to the gradual increase in the price of goods and services over time, impacting the purchasing power of money. The Consumer Price Index or CPI is crucial to use to quantity inflation by tracking change in the cost of a predetermined basket of goods and services over time. After that, measuring inflation. Typical price rise over time, but price can also fall. A situation called deflation. The most well-known indicator of inflation is the Consumer Price Index or CPI, which measures the percentage change in the price of a basket of goods and services consumed by household. Next, the blend cost of inflation can be grouped into broad category demand pool and cost pools. What is demand pool? Demand pool is a form of inflation. It refers to instance when demand for goods and services exceeds the available supply of those goods and services in the economy. Lastly, what is cost push inflation? Cost push inflation, as known as wage push inflation, occurs when overall price increase inflation due to increase in the cost of wage and raw material. Higher cost of production can decrease the aggregate supply, the amount of total production in the economy.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Norfadilah Ismail, student ID 2022-90907, would like to present calculating the index of our topic, inflation in Malaysia. As per shown in our CPI index table for year 2020 to year 2022, it's shown that the CPI in year 2021 is 123.1. It signifies of a 3% increase from year 2020. The table is adapted from the monthly statistic bulletin from the Bank Negara Malaysia for year 2023 November. How to interpret the CPI changes? At first, a rising CPI indicates inflation. A falling CPI suggests deflation, and a stable CPI reflects price stability over the period. CPI is a crucial economy indicator used to measure inflation or deflation, aiding policymakers, businesses, and individuals in understanding changes in the cost of living and making informed decisions. Meanwhile, government use CPI to adjust economic variables such as wages, social security benefits, and tax brackets to account for changes in purchasing powers. Selecting the CPI basket of goods and services represents a collection of goods and services that an average consumer might typically purchase over a specific period. The basket is carefully selected to reflect the diverse spending habits of the population, covering various stages of food, housing, transportation, and communication. The Communication Consumer Price Index specifically focuses on the costs associated with the communication services such as mobile phone, internet expenses, landline phones, and other communication-related expenditures. Here's the example of the Communication CPI Index for communication. The line graph visually illustrates changes in the communication CPI over different years. In this scenario, the figures for 2020 are highlighted, indicating a decrease of 4.0% in August 2023 and a slight increase of -3.7% in November 2023. A decrease in the Communication Consumer Price Index implies that, on average, the cost of communication services has decreased compared to the reference period. Technological advancement may contribute to cost reduction in communication services, leading to a decrease in the index. Changes in market competition or regulatory inventions can impact pricing with the communication sector. A decrease in the Communication CPI Index could positively impact consumers by making communication services more affordable. Conversely, an increase in the index may lead to higher expenses for consumers in this category. Next example for CPI Index is for education. The graph visualizes the changes in the Education Consumer Price Index over different years, offering insights into the cost fluctuations associated with the education-related expenses. In this specific instance, the data presented focuses on the year 2023. According to the graph, there was a notable increase of 2% in the Education Consumer Price Index in November 2023. This percentage increase indicates a rise in the average cost of education-related goods and services compared to the base in year or a previous reference period. Additionally, the graph highlights a decrease in the educational CPI in October 2020, attributed to the implementation of the MCO. So the decline during this period may be linked to the effects of the MCO, which could include reduced demand of certain educational services and changes in the delivery of education or other factors, contributing to a temporary decrease in cost as well. The MCO are measures often implemented for public reasons can impact various sectors in the economy, including education. Understanding the fluctuation in this education CPI during such events provide valuable information for policymakers, educators, and the general public. It helps in assessing the economic implications of external factors, policy decisions, and social changes on the cost of education. Moving to the next graph, visually represents the fluctuations in the health CPI over multiple years, offering insights into changes in the cost associated with health-related goods and services, specifically for 2023. According to the graph, there was a notable increase of 5% in the health CPI in May 2015. This percentage increases signifies a rise in the average cost of health-related goods and services compared to a baseline year or a previous reference period. The reasons behind this might include factors such as a rising of a medical treatment, increased demand for healthcare services, or changes in healthcare technology. Moreover, the graph indicates a decrease of 2.3% in 2023 November, and the decrease suggests a decline in average cost of health-related expenses during this specific months compared to the reference period. Several factors could contribute to this decline, including potential adjustment in healthcare pricing, changes in healthcare policies, or variations in the availability and cost of specific medical treatment or services. Understanding the dynamics of the health CPI is crucial for policymakers, healthcare providers, and the public. It provides valuable information about the economic aspect of healthcare, including the impact of medical advancements, changes in healthcare policies, and the other external focus or factors on the cost of health-related goods and services. The Department of Statistics in Malaysia undertakes the comprehensive task of collecting consumer price nationwide. This extensive operation objective is to gather data on the prices of a carefully selected set of 552 goods from chosen retailers. Equipped with tablets, field officers are responsible for obtaining accurate and up-to-date pricing information from these designated collection locations. This focus is on fixed items included in the basket of products and services. These fixed items represent a diverse range of goods that an average consumer might regularly purchase, forming a crucial component of the CPI index calculation. This primary goal of this meticulous price collection process is to capture the actual prices paid by the customer for the specified goods and services. This information serves as the foundation for calculating the CPI index. The CPI index turn acts as a proxy for the nation's inflation rates, providing a valuable indicator of changes in overall prices within the economy. The use of tablets in the data collection process emphasizes efficiency and accuracy, enabling field officers to promptly record and transmit pricing data. The extensive coverage of collecting centers across different regions ensures a representative and comprehensive sample, allowing for a more accurate reflections of price trends at the national level.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Norfadilah Ismail. My matric number is 2022702317. Malaysia, the OSM released the Consumer Price Index (CPI), providing an insight into the price of 12 major categories of goods and services. So the categorization aligned with the United Nations classification of individual consumption according to purpose COI/COP classification. Seems the price for these categories collects either weekly or monthly, forming the basis for the calculations of Malaysia CPI. So the consumer price index in Malaysia has been a vital economic indicator, averaging 75.77 points from 1972 until 2023. So it reached all-the-time high of 130.90 point in October 2023 and had a record low of 24.30 point in January 1972. So this point relative change in the average price level of the specific basket of goods and services over time. So in conclusions, the regular publication of the CPI by DOSM align with the COP classifications, offer the comprehensive snapshot of the price movement. So the index which weightage components serve a value to the policymaker, business and the public to change the cost of living and economic trend over time. And now I want to talk about various degree of inflations. So I have 6 main types of inflation categorized. One is creeping inflation, second is working inflation, third is running inflation, fourth is hyperinflation, stagflation, and galloping. So the first one is creeping inflations. Creeping inflations occur when price climb very slowly, typical characterized by a consistent annual price increase of less than 3%. Okay, the second one is working inflations. Working inflation is characterized by single-digit annual inflation rate combined with a modest price increase. So that occur when the pace of price increase fall between 3 and less than 10%. So the running inflation is observed when price rapidly at the rate of 10 to 20% per annum. So the hyperinflation is occur when price rise very rapidly at double or triple rates. It is an extreme scenario. The inflation rate become nearly immeasurable and absolutely uncontrollable. So the stagflation is a condition that combine economic stagflation with soaring inflation. So conventional monetary tools typical downward stagflation is environment. So the last one is galloping. Galloping is characterized by inflation that develop at a rapid pace, often they are reaching dual or triple digit annual rates, perhaps only for a brief period. The second one, we want to talk about measure to control inflation. We have 3 elements to control. The first one is contractionary fiscal policy. The second one is contractionary monetary policy, and the last one is direct control measure. So the contractionary fiscal policy, the Malaysian government employs fiscal tools such as reducing public spending. So instead, during time of high inflation, the government might cut back on major infrastructure project to decrease overall expenditure. So the second one is contractionary monetary policy. Okay, Bank Negara Malaysia as a central bank can influence inflation through the monetary policy. They may increase interest rate, making borrowing more expensive, which can reduce spending and inflationary pressure. So Bank Negara Malaysia might rise the overnight policy (OPR) to discourage excess borrowing and spending. And the third one is direct control measure. Malaysia has a law and regulatory frameworks in place to directly control price and prevent profiteering. The Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011 empowers authorities to set the price control and prevent unfair pricing practice. So the Malaysian government may use the act regular price and essential goods during period of high inflation. So this measure collectivity demonstrate Malaysia multi-facet approach to managing inflation by addressing fiscal, monetary and direct control aspect. It's essential to note the effectiveness of the measure can vary based on the economic context.
Thank you, my fellow teammates. My name is Nur Dayani. Metric number 202231097. I will be the last member to present today. Effects of inflation. Number 1, supply chain disrupt. Movement restricted can disrupt supply change, leading to shortage of goods and services. If demand remains constant or increase while supply decrease, prices tend to rise. This can contributing to inflation. Number 2, reduce economic activity during movement control order. Businesses may face closure, reduce operation, or lower consumer demand. This decline in economic activity can lead to lower production levels, also can decrease employment and income losses. But despite these economic challenges, some prices may rise due to supply constraints or increased production costs. Number 3, government stimulus measure to counter the economic impact of the MCO. The government may implement stimulus packages, injecting money into the economy. While this can help businesses and some individuals, it may also contribute to inflation if the increase of money supply outpaces the growth of goods and services. Number 4, currency deflation. In times of economic uncertainty, the value of countries' currency may be affected. If a country experiences currency deflation, it can be linked to an increase in prices of import goods and services. This is also can contributing to inflation. Number 5, consumer behavior during MCO. Consumer behavior may change. Hoarding or panic buying can lead to increased demands of certain goods, causing the prices to rise. This behavior is particularly relevant for essential goods and services. And it's very important to take note that the impact of inflation during MCO can be vary based on specific circumstances, government policies, and during the resistance, central banks and policymakers often monitor economic indicators closely to implement measures that aim to mitigate the negative effect of inflation and support economic stability. The movement control MCO may result in job losses, reduced working hours, or wage cuts for certain individuals and sectors. This can lead to decreased purchasing power among affected households, influencing their spending habits. For some industries experience increases in demand, such as online services or essential goods production. But there may be wage pressure. Businesses may face high operating costs during MCO due to factors like increase in sanitation measure, supply chain disrupt, and compliance with health protocol. These additional costs may be passed on the consumer through higher prices for goods and services. Malaysia is a globally connected economy, and disruptions in international trade during MCO can impact the availability and prices for import goods. Changes in exchange rates and trade relationship can affect the cost of imports, contributing to inflation. The central banks of Malaysia, the Bank Negara Malaysia, play a crucial role in managing inflation through monetary policy. Depending on economic condition, the central bank may adjust interest rate or implement other monetary measures to control inflation and support economic stability. The MCO may accelerate trends towards digitalization and e-commerce. This will be increased online shopping, which can influence price dynamic, with some goods becoming more competitively priced, while others experience price hike due to increase in demand. And the last part of our presentation today will be conclusion. Malaysia implication story in 2023 is a testament to the country's adaptability and strategic policy making. While challenges remain, the successful moderations of implications offer cautious optimism for 2024 and beyond. Continued vigilance and proactive policy responses, and also a focus on building resilience will be key to securing long-term price stability and economic prosperity for Malaysia. That's all for us today. Thank you very much.